Olivia here. Thanks for listening to Greetings From. This week, we asked the question of what is the perfect video game meal? Join us as we discover the right blend of herbs, spices, and sinner sandwiches to fit our refined palates.
Greetings, travelers. It is April 14th, 2019, and this is episode 13 of the Greetings From podcast, Lucky 13. My name is Rebecca Faye, and I am joined as always by my two very good friends. First, to my proverbial right, she's a bird, she's a plane, she's a professional falconer. It's Miss Olivia Quinn.
I'm so excited for that falcon game. I'm going to put a little hat on my little owl falcon thing, and it's going to be amazing.
Did you see the gif where the guy makes the heart hand gesture and the falcon like nuzzles his head inside your heart?
What? That's amazing.
Oh yeah, I'll have to show it to you.
Who's this guy though?
Which guy?
You.
There's a guy?
Oh.
He hasn't been introduced, so I don't know who he is. It's weird.
Oh, okay. Well, let me. Okay, well, sorry, but while you were out partying, he was too busy studying the blade. It's Mr. Tyler Smith.
Yes, I think I have the 7-sided strike now, and it's glorious.
Perfect. You're truly a master.
Truly.
And soon we'll all be professional falconers just like you, Olivia.
Olivia. Dude, how cool would it be if Sekiro had a falcon? That was just like a tool. I don't know. Fucking falcon controlling tool.
It needs to be like the one in Assassin's Creed, right? Where
Damn
it's like
it,
a homing.
beat me to it.
Oh, sorry. But it's like a homing missile / drone / falcon.
Yeah, something like that.
The From Software
Anyway.
universe.
Yeah. I don't know. Would that be easy mode if you had a drone?
We're not going to go there. No.
Okay. Well,
no.
Yeah, okay. So I also don't want to have this conversation, but it's fine. Because we already sort of had this conversation on one of our streams. We've been streaming Bloodborne. You can find it on Twitch. We stream on every other Friday for now. And we have some VODs up on our YouTube channel. We'll link them in the description, obviously. I don't know why I say description, like I'm on YouTube, but it's in the show notes, whatever. But worth shouting out is A, not contributing to this discussion because it's stupid and everybody has said a lot of bullshit already. But B, pointing you to the Waypoint Radio episode 228, where they do a very interesting deep dive into the discourse around, you know, the FromSoft games, what it means to have an easy mode, you know, what is it sort of a theory behind disability and accessibility and designing for those things. So I recommend, in lieu of listening to us spin our wheels over the same conversations that people have been having on the internet this week, go listen to that. It's a really good podcast. I think the first hour is dedicated to it, so if you're short on time, definitely check it out. It's linked in the description. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes. I mean, if we had new things to contribute to the conversation, we would probably say them. I have a lot to say about Sekiro, but it's not about any of the, you know, should it be easy or harder or whatever. It's just literally about Sekiro as a game in itself.
Man, I was going to make a joke about what you could talk about, but I avoided it. So we got to keep moving forward here. We can't
That's okay.
actually open this.
We do. We have a plan.
We're gonna acknowledge this negativity and we're gonna gently put it behind us as we move forward into even more bullshit called the PAX East 2019 Borderlands 3 reveal, which was the worst thing I've ever had to watch in real time with my own 2 eyeballs. Did you guys watch this, or was it just me?
I watched the VOD. Like, I watched the highlights, and then I tried my best. I saw the jacket. The jacket was magical.
I mean, there was more magic in that presentation than just that jacket.
So I actually haven't seen this still, and I know that like your frustration and awkwardness was palpable within the chat as you were live tweeting it, basically.
Yeah.
So explain to me what happened again. I know there were magic tricks involved, and a game was released.
A USB drive
announced.
got released somehow.
Yeah. It was. Everybody look under your seats. It's the
USB
drive.
This is the same guy who lost the USB with the porn on it.
Yeah. So we I don't remember how many casts ago this was, but we spent some time talking about the whole bullshit happening at Gearbox Software, starring Randy Pitchford, magician extraordinaire, perhaps a little bit of a pedophile, left a USB drive at medieval times, and Gearbox was suing itself. It got really weird. Anyway, so what better person to have introduce all their new content than Randy Pitchford, who was a hot ass mess and spent the whole time stalking back and forth on the stage, profusely sweating. It was very uncomfortable. They spent about 20 minutes doing a magic trick that took a little bit too long, perhaps a lot of it too long. And then none of their videos worked. And then I believe we watched the Borderlands 3 announcement trailer like 4 times. It was bad, actually. And then there was a point where he kind of was like, you know, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he basically was like, he blamed the PAX East staff for all of their technical difficulties. Like, next time, bring your own equipment. Like, man, just stop talking. Just stop talking. And bring somebody else out that's not you.
Right.
Like, there has to be someone else that works at this company that's not Randy Fisher.
Even beyond, like, the technical problems, I felt like the content of the presentation was a little, like, questionable.
Yeah.
One of the things I saw was him specifically talking about, like, hey, in this trailer, we've got some secrets hidden. If you translate this Morse code thing, you'll get a shift code. And I'm like, guy, you can't just, like, if you're going to include secrets and then just immediately call them out, like, what the fuck are you doing? Why even have it? You're a magician. You understand people want to, like, find this stuff for themselves, and it's way cooler. So, I don't know. I took umbrage with that. It was making me really upset. Well, everything else was bad as well.
Well, and it's bad, too, because they're so obsessed with shift codes that they've, like, reverse engineered Borderlands in creating the GOTY edition to add shift codes. Because I guess Gearbox runs on shift codes now. Oh, Jesus.
Can you buy shift codes? Are they like a microtransaction?
Well, they come with stuff. I don't know. I feel really bad because I played Borderlands 1 when it came out a long time ago, and I played Borderlands 2 when it came out. I had really bad experiences with both of them, and I just did not like them. And so I, like, sort of shut them out of my general. I just was like, I'm just gonna freely ignore those. And so I'm pretty sure shift codes were like, you know how if you buy, I don't know, like a Destiny toy, it comes with a code for a hat in the game or something like that. I always thought they were kind of like that, and then the Borderlands Twitter or the Gearbox Twitter, Randy, whatever, was usually tweeting out shift codes, but I think that they were time locked. I don't know if they cost money, but maybe some of them did for like rare items. I don't know. I don't really get the shift code economy. I bet people are selling them because there are certain items that you can't get anymore. I have no idea.
Oh my God,
I'm looking at it right now. It says shift codes were golden keys. And I think the golden keys were to open up chests or loots in the game.
Yes.
There's like the one box you can keep going back to, and at least in Borderlands 2, where like,
and that's random, right?
It. Yeah, I think
that was always random.
Not always. Sometimes they were for specific events, like they have a community day, I think, every year, and so usually there's like a special item that gets unlocked as part of that, and everybody gets the same scanner for whatever character, I think.
I see.
So I think some of them are like just general, like maybe you'll get a gun, maybe you'll get a hat, maybe you'll get a face. So who knows?
And I think all of our feelings are pretty like on the Borderlands a little blasé for all of us. But I am a little bit excited that they're bringing the characters in from like Tales from the Borderlands. I think that's really cool because that was my favorite Borderlands game where there's like actual writing and like characters and stuff like that. So I'm like, you could do cool things with Borderlands. Like Telltale did a cool thing with Borderlands, but what they showed didn't seem super interesting to me. And that's a real bummer because I like feel like, it was their game to lose. And then Destiny and other like shooters came in and it's like, well, Borderlands, where have you been?
Yeah, it's true. I think if they don't iterate on their own product, you know what I mean? And it has to be more than just like, there's a billion guns now. Like that was a big like selling
That's
point.
a lot of guns. They're like, sorry, continue.
Well, they're randomly generated. They're like procedurally generated, so it's not really meaningful. You know what I mean? And I don't know if that's enough to sell it in the long term when it has to compete with things like Destiny that have literally better game modes and better shooting and better mobility
and better social features, which I feel like is a key part of all of this.
It's true.
Yeah. The quantity of guns doesn't make the better game. Like. They're almost in the realm of No Man's Sky with planets, with like they are with guns. Like there's a billion guns. There's almost no way that if I played the game, I would see all of the guns that they have made or have to offer. Especially if it's all up to random loot. And now if they're gonna say like, well, here's gun A, and then here's gun A, but it's +1 to fire. Like that's that's
Yeah. It's not
you
great when
know,
it's just like a decision tree of like, okay, we have like these 6 components plus these 6 components, and it's like none of it really like feels super great. They do
Right.
have like
right.
exotic weapons though, if I remember correctly. You can get like a pre-crafted gun for killing a certain boss, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, there
So,
are.
You're right.
And they level scale usually. So depending on like with the Borderlands 2 DLC, there's certain instances where you can get special weapons and then they are scaled to just whatever level you are when you complete the DLC and earn the weapon. So like that's cool. And I feel like you do have that with Destiny as well when you have light levels attached to certain kinds of guns. But even in Destiny you could bump up guns. Like you could improve your own legendaries. I don't know. So I feel like if Borderlands doesn't have that, I mean, have you looked at your peers and what they've been doing since you started this several years ago and tried to make it better? I don't know.
one of the things that really struck me about this trailer was the like look of the characters, and I feel like that's been a really important thing in Borderlands is like, oh, you know, we're looking different. It's like not your average like gray shooter, but I feel like other games have like had a more original art style in the last couple of years, like, you know, incorporating more color. In Borderlands just looks
Yes.
dated to me in terms of like, oh, we're doing the cell shaded thing, and like the
Well,
animations didn't look great in my opinion, so I'm a little worried about that aspect of it, and I kind of
it
hoped it would be better.
It looks like the same. I mean,
Right.
you're right. It looks like Borderlands. It looks like Borderlands back in what 2012 or even earlier than that. 2007 I think is when it originally came out. And it's just like I understand that you guys have got a new game and it's 2019 now, but like I don't know. I've had like a really weird relationship with Borderlands in general, just because I always get on board and then 2 or 3 hours in I like just fall out of it and I don't know what it is. I can never really get past their art style, honestly, and then I don't know. I just
Yeah.
I just fall off.
I
It's
think.
not that interesting to play.
Go ahead, Livia.
Oh, sorry. What I meant to talk about was the like DLC in this game, because that's been a big part of all the Borderland games like in the past, where it's like, hey, we're gonna do extensive DLC, and it seems like a lot of games are moving away from that like kind of paid DLC model and more towards like loot boxes and then like free expansions over time. And I also wonder how they're gonna address that, because I feel like the idea of paying for DLC is a little challenging when you have games like The Division 2 just giving everything for free. If I understand that correctly, I think they're doing free content drops, or Overwatch just keeps updating with new events every month, you know?
Yep. It definitely is a weird stitch, and I feel like Borderlands 2 dropped characters and actual like story campaign stuff, so it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, how's that received. So that releases in September. It's coming out fast. So I'm kind of holding my breath on it. I like Borderlands for what it is, but like, they're showing character age in the new Borderlands by giving people a mustache. So that felt kind of like, I don't know if that counts, but sure.
Well, yeah. Has there been a timeline established of when this trilogy is supposed to be like set in? Is it a few months?
I believe
after?
there is a timeline. I don't know for sure. I have a friend that's like super duper 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 into Borderlands, and I feel like she told me that there was several years supposedly between Borderlands 2 and 3. Don't quote me, but I was like, sure, that sounds right. I don't know any better. I'm just glad Handsome Jack is gone. Honestly, like, I'm glad that they're not going to keep trying to milk that, because I think that would be a nail in the coffin if they were just like...
they need something fresh, and Handsome Jack has been done. I bet you anything, though, he will in some way either be like paid homage to and or return in a weird way or something. He'll be important in some way, like, oh, this is Handsome Jack's unannounced experiment that he was doing in the background, or something. Right. I don't know.
Well, that's like Tales from the Borderland was like, oh, Handsome Jack is dead, but one guy's got him in his brain, like a copy of Handsome Jack, and that's like the whole like plot of that game. And I actually liked it for what it was. I was like, oh, Handsome Jack isn't super annoying. Like, and it sucks looking back, because I played Borderlands 1 and I was like, wow, this game's like got a sense of humor. I was also like in college and I wasn't really, like, I was like half paying attention. And then coming back to Borderlands 2, I'm just like, oh boy, this is like really off-putting in terms of what they're presenting here, in terms of the villain and the story and everything. So if it's just that again, I'm really anxious about how this game's gonna do.
Yeah. At least we don't have to wait too long. At least they're doing that thing where it's coming out within a few months of its announcement. I like it when that people are doing that, so I'm glad that they're doing it here. But that also means that they don't have as much time if this whole thing goes tits up. Not like it will.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like they've been working on it for a while, right? I mean, when was their last game release? When was Tales of the Borderland released? I feel like...
Well, that was a
Even then, I
Telltale
don't-
game.
Yeah, it's a Telltale game, so I don't
What was
think-
the previous? Yeah, the pre.
The
What was that game
pre-sequel.
before pre-sequel? Fuck, I cannot remember its name.
I
was just trying to-
VR thing.
No, it's like the like MOBA-esque that like launched against Overwatch and then got totally decimated.
Oh, Battleborn.
Battleborn, thank you, God.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot about Battleborn. Dude, I was able to play Battleborn. I mean, was Battleborn ever released into the wild? Because it was at
Yeah,
PAX,
definitely.
and that's where I
Yeah,
saw it. Okay.
It was released.
Okay.
It was released and very quietly died. Although our good friend Cliffy B was mentioning not that long ago that he really hopes that people will think about Lawbreakers the way that they think about Battleborn, which
Oh,
apparently,
Okay.
yeah, because apparently he believes that Battleborn is now a cult classic, well beloved, and it didn't get what it was deserved. And I think we're all living in a little bit of a fantasy world.
I'm so thankful you said
Sorry.
that because I was just thinking like I should, instead of playing like the Borderlands 1, I should play Battleborn on Friday. That should be what I do. Is I want to see what Battleborn is because I own it, but I've never played it. So
Can
I'm
you
gonna
still are there still servers? Is it
I
still
think-
up?
I think you can still play Battleborn. I don't think there's any new content, but I think the original stuff that was made is still available.
Battleborn was released May 2016, so it has been a while. And you
If
can't
it's
imagine
shut down,
that they
I'm gonna
had
be
all of their
devastated.
team on Battleborn, you know?
Well, I
So-
think they've explicitly said they're not making anything else for Battleborn, but I think you
No.
can still play it. I hope.
Okay,
God,
I wasn't
I'm
sure.
praying.
Once Lawbreakers went offline, I just kind of assumed that that was anything that lost in the battle was just kind of over. But I don't
Yeah.
know. Apparently, there's a group of people who still believe it's some sort of cult classic and didn't get the judgment that praise and critical reception that was earned.
It is still
No,
on
it's-
Steam
It's still
as
up.
a free game.
Yeah, it said
Do they
in
ha-
June 2017 it was transitioned to a pricing scheme comparable to free-to-play titles.
Bad. What's the concurrent? Does it show concurrent players?
That's like the second, like auto
Are there, like-
complete, but I
Oh,
haven't checked it yet.
Okay. It's like, are there like 12 people? Like, shout out to those 12 people keeping it alive.
Are there more people playing Battleborn than they are playing Artifact? That's what I want to know.
Probably. I hope so. I bet
don't-
the way that Artifact is gone. Although I have to give props to Valve for being like, we fucked up. We're gonna just quietly work on this. BRB.
Oh no! I just found the According to GitHip, which I don't actually know if that's a thing.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. I just searched Battleborn player counts and it says 0 current players. So I may bump that number up. Battleborn Fridays, our new feature.
Okay.
Bloodborne's done. Battleborn's in.
Hopefully, one person will tune in somewhere so that I don't know. Is it a 5? Is it 5v5? Like 6v6? Is it 3v3? I don't know. Do you need, like, how many other people do you need to get this thing going? Like, can we get 10 people to just volunteer to play this completely for free?
You still have to pay. This is really weird. I'm looking at it right now on Steam. It says Battleborn. It's free to play, but there's also Battleborn the full game upgrade, which is $30.
Well,
Yeah, I
of course
think-
nobody's playing it.
Well, I think you can get like a set amount of heroes. I think it's like a PV kind of thing. I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
jeez.
No, it is. Yeah, it is. It's
Okay.
like a MOBA. I mean, it's a full fledged MOBA. And it's
Is it a
kinda like-
PvP game?
legal.
Though? That was the thing I was on. I don't know. This is
Yeah, it's a PvP.
Are we
game.
giving-
I thought so.
It's literally your team versus another team. Excuse me. So it's 5 people against 5 other people. So it's 10 people in an arena, and then they're running across the field and stuff, battling for control of the field or whatever, or like killing the other teammates. I don't know if you can respawn or not. I played a very early version of it, and even at PAX, it was like not very well received. Because they didn't have, like, when you died, you could not revive, and so like
What?
you're playing a game that you don't know, and like you die, and like that's it. So it was Anyway.
Tune in Friday for some hot
Oh,
Battleborn
boy.
takes with just me. I'm the one player. I'm gonna run the MOBA.
I wish I was there to see it. Although this podcast is going out after we stream it, so catch it on our YouTube channel. So I guess in terms of other games that went kind of tits up, this has been a hard couple of weeks for Bioware, which has been the subject of some investigative journalism from Jason Schreier, who works for Kotaku and who has been really great at uncovering the bullshit in the industry as of late. The short version of this, obviously, is that an article was published about what happened with Anthem. And about 15 minutes after that article went live, Bioware came out with a really half-assy sort of like, don't talk to the press, don't stir bullshit. It was like, it looked really bad.
Well, they sent an email, right? Their company... Okay, sorry.
They did, but they made a public announcement first, and then the next day, we found out that thing had gone around from inside that basically said, don't talk to the press. And then Casey Hudson had basically been like, yeah, we acknowledge it. We kind of blew it here. And then there's a lot that we need to fix. So then that prompted what came out this morning, which was the what the hell happened with Dragon Age 4, because that team had been sort of dismantled basically to come in and help on Anthem at the last minute. To the point where it looks like the future of Dragon Age is probably pretty tenuous, and that game may not be what its creators hoped it to be. A lot of those people are gone. What's happened at Bioware, y'all? Is it over? I'm kind of afraid.
I was really worried for Dragon Age, Dragon Age 4 even existing. Like, I honestly thought Bioware... Yeah. I hope this is not true, but I honestly think that Bioware is going to get shut down before Dragon Age ever ships. Like, I don't think we're getting another Dragon Age.
I think it's possible. Or if it ships, it's going to be like the nail in the coffin, because we had Andromeda, which was fucked up at launch, and they took some time to fix, but still wasn't a complete vision. And then we have Anthem, which was fucked up at launch, and they're still trying to fix it, and maybe it'll be a complete vision. We haven't been here long enough to see it. And then we have Dragon Age 4, which is riding on the shoulders of a lot of baggage with not only just that company, but also that franchise. Right. So...
a while back, I was like, hey, I really hope Anthem is a huge smashing success. Because I really don't want to see Bioware go under because Anthem didn't do well or sell, 6 million units or something stupid within the first 6 weeks of it being released. I don't remember what the metric was, but it was like an outstanding metric from EA, their expectations for Anthem. And so far, I think Anthem hasn't done as well as EA wants it to have. And it also, had a rocky launch, and it seems like there are a few things in the game that need to be tweaked a little bit. And I really hope that it brings in enough money to keep Bioware going, because my heart can't take it if like the last Bioware branch fucking goes under, and then like what happens to all the IPs that they were in control of? They just get backlogged or stored away in EA somewhere, waiting for someone to come along years down the road to like rebirth a franchise. I
think that's happened before in other EA studios. I think EA has earned a reputation for buying studios and shutting them down, and like all I think all publishers do that. Like, I think EA gets an unfair rap in the industry just because of like
That's
gamer
true.
hate or whatever.
It's just easy to hate on them.
Yeah, I just feel like when you look at the big picture of like what is EA putting out, and like where is their focus? Like, we add Battlefield 5, the Firestorm mode into this, like that's not doing great. Seems like Anthem isn't doing great. I kind of feel like we're going to get to a point where EA is going to like have to, they've already started firing support staff, so like are they just going to start cutting studios and like trying to focus down on other like Apex Legends now? Or like that's the thing, is I don't see what else they're doing to kind of buoy the studio, and that's scary to me.
And it was mentioned at some point that some of the team that was working on Anthem got pulled away to work on like FIFA so that it would ship.
Yep.
So like it just, this is not, we don't want to point all the fingers at Bioware. Obviously they have a lot of problems, but this is also bad coming from EA up top if they are, not able to manage their teams well enough to ship anything complete and well, you know what I mean?
It's difficult, because you have a game like Dragon Age. It's not FIFA. It's not Anthem even. It's not a service game. It's a one experience game, or like that's just what it is. It's like Mass Effect. Mass Effect was not a service game where
I mean, it did have online multiplayer and loot boxes.
So yes, it did. So Dragon Age Inquisition did.
Mm-hmm.
However, I don't think that, like, I never really played the online version or anything like that. It wasn't. I don't know. For me, just I didn't play it. I know a few people who played it, and I heard that it was like all right, but I don't think it's gonna be like Mass Effect 3, their multiplayer online. Like there wasn't. It just didn't. It doesn't mesh with the kind of game Dragon Age is. So I don't know. They would have to do like a Dragon Age MMO or something, and like that would be, first of all, wild. Second of all, not feasible, I think, at their current endeavor or juncture that they're at right now. So I don't know.
I think one thing that is especially interesting as well is the sentiment that came out of the original article about the way that Anthem went down, which was, devs basically saying we wished that Inquisition would not do well because we wanted people to see that this bullshit was happening from the get-go. But right. Inquisition came out, it did really well, it won Game of the Year, you know what I mean? It was right. a great game, it had some design flaws, obviously, but it was good because it had a strong creative vision, and that was kind of a setup for failure in a lot of ways, because then it took longer for this development hell that these people were in to really make its mark and take its toll.
Right.
I feel the same way that you do, because I also feel very strongly about these IPs, and I have a lot of characters that I care a lot about and want to see again. But at the same time, I would rather them die than see them come out with some really half-assy, poorly branded, you know what I mean, like service experience, because this is what they think, like this is not what but this is what EA has created, right? It's a service industry right. because they want to make money, and they have driven out all of the talent they had because of the fact that their burnout is just incredible, and right. people don't come back from that.
Yeah.
So
I think one last thing I wanted to talk about was just the, like, people getting pulled into FIFA, like in the lack of autonomy that Bioware must have, and how frustrating that must be, because I can only imagine, working in a job, you have a vision, you're committing to it, and then you're getting resources pulled from you, or you're being told to like refocus on something else, and like having your attention divided 7 different ways is just not a way to do any kind of creative or like, meaningful work, at least in my opinion. So I just I just wonder, like, how do you bring this back? Like, I don't think EA is going to give BioWare like the autonomy it probably needs to make the games that people like. And that's really a bummer, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's sad that they can't resource manage well enough to like build a meaningful FIFA team, instead of like pulling from other games and other studios where people are already stretched thin to fix right. another product. Like that's
like if I was like a big FIFA person, I'd be like, I don't want someone who made Dragon Age to be on FIFA. Like, what?
Not until I can kiss the soccer players.
But you know what I mean? Like, I would like someone who's very passionate about the game that I'm playing, or the game that is being created, to like be passionate about that game. And if you I'm not saying that, someone who makes Dragon Age or is interested in making Dragon Age, or people who are making FIFA aren't interested in Dragon Age, and Dragon Age people aren't interested in FIFA. I'm just saying, whoever is making the game, they should be like really passionate about what they're doing, because if they're not passionate about what they're doing, games are fucking hard to, like, no one wants to go to work and do something they don't want to fucking do, like,
yeah.
And like, I guess that's maybe a juggle. I'm not a game designer, and so like I haven't, I don't know what they might go through, but like it would be really hard to go to work for 3 years and work on something that I'm not super passionate about, because I think even if you are passionate, like, I think if the Dragon Age people working on Dragon Age, I'm sure they're fucking super passionate about that game, and they still get burned out. Like, there's definitely a point of no return, or diminishing returns, I should say, where like you just one day you're just like, I fucking don't want to do this right now. It happens to everyone, but I'm sure they get back on that horse or on that dragon. This conversation kind of reminded me
on that Iron Bull.
I don't know if you guys saw that Super Data report. It's like a Nielsen company, and like they kind of like tried to find the top grossing games by category, like break it down by PC, console, and mobile. FIFA 19 is at the top of that list, and then you get like that's above Fortnite in terms of like yearly revenue, and then you know like on PC, or I'm sorry, monthly revenue, Apex Legends is 6, like right behind Fortnite. And like they have revenue coming in, it just doesn't seem like it's getting given to the teams, and maybe it's going to like the executive team instead of like the actual people who are doing the work, which sucks.
Right.
I mean, I don't want to be a hater, but their CEO looks like a supervillain, so it does make you wonder where that money is going.
Right.
It goes. It goes in
Andrew
15.
Wilson.
It's 15 million bailouts or bonuses. That's where it goes. You know, ha ha ha. The rich.
Unionize. Union.
Yes, always unionize.
Yeah, well, it's just tough because I
really
love
wish
Bioware
the best.
like all y'all. Yeah, me too.
I wish the best for Bioware. I hope that they can pull it out of their asses, I guess, or like EA releases control of them, relinquishes control, and like lets them fucking just chill for a bit and like take the time.
Who even is BioWare anymore? Like the original founders are no longer there. Like a lot of the key members are gone. Like
the
I just wonder.
Team, even on Inquisition, pretty much is gone.
Right.
So I hope that all of those workers like get the opportunity to make like good work and like live happy lives. That's what I'm really praying for.
Yeah, it's better to not be crying in an office than to be happy somewhere. You know what I mean? Like I would rather that than never getting another Dragon Age game.
Yeah.
And like the way that they ended Trespasser, technically it could be the end because they gave everybody like, well, here it is, and then goodbye.
Well, yeah, I mean it's so, unless you played that one specific way, it's basically the end. So it's just that they picked like the one ending out of 16, or 16 paths to get to the ending. You know, they picked the one that like is the canonical ending, just so that they could continue the franchise.
Selfishly, I wouldn't be 100% mad if I didn't get another Dragon Age game because they killed my boyfriend in like almost all but one of his endings. So I'm kind of like, well, fine. If that's how you're going to play it, then I don't want another one because we lived happily ever after and you can eat it.
Yeah.
It's very selfish.
I think, you know, the Inquisition is a good note to go out on. So
yeah, it is a great game, but also fuck the hinterlands and I never want to go back there again.
Yeah. I'm really worried for the next game. I hope it just does well. I hope that the scope isn't too little or too narrow or too wide, and I hope that, you know, you don't get some really servicey either mechanics or like add-ons that feel like spam applications on your phone that are thrown into the game because money or something. You know, like I hope that they take their time with it, or they're allowed to be taking their time with it so that they can actually do a good job and make a good game. So
I know that on Twitter, not to continue harping on this point, but I know on Twitter after the original article came out, Jason mentioned that other people had come to him privately and said you could replace the name of Anthem with the game that I'm working on at my studio and it would be the same story.
Yeah.
So I think the other thing that's sort of scary about this and why I'm glad it's out there is that I think there's a lot more franchises that we love and we don't even know that are in the same kind of jeopardy as this one. So
because no one wants to speak up about it, or it's just, you know, again, EA is the number one person to hate next to Activision. So I wish this wasn't a thing in the industry, but apparently it is, and it's like not even game devs' fault. It's literally just everyone who controls the money. It's management. It's upper management who, for whatever reason, mismanages everyone and like wants always wants a return, you know, positive revenue for either them or their investors, and it's just like out of control. Video games don't seem to work that way. Anyway, yeah.
So how does everybody in the room feel about food? Do you like food? Do you have favorite foods?
I eat it every day.
You eat it every day. You know,
at least once a day.
I think more people do than they say they do. I think food may actually be more popular. I don't know. I'm not a food expert. nor am I a transition expert, but hey, we make it work here on the Greetings from podcast. So, we, in the style of some of our previous podcasts, we issued a challenge to people on our Discord and to those following us on Twitter to provide us with their favorite video game foods, whatever those were. Could be anything. We got a lot of really, really interesting answers. Some of them I have no idea what they are, so this will be fun. And some that are quite beloved. Also, I don't know if you guys knew, but like apparently there's just like this company that's just spitting out these official like recipes books now. So like the Skyrim one literally just came out, and there's like a Fallout one, and I think there's a Hearthstone one. I don't know. So anyway,
I didn't know that they were making books, but I knew that there's an entire Tumblr dedicated to making video game food.
There's printed actual books, not done by the Tumblr person, but they are like sold in the Bethesda store. So in case you wanna cook your way through the world of the Elder Scrolls, you can do that. But today, in honor of all of the food that was sent to us, my challenge for the Greetings From team is to build the perfect, and I use perfect very loosely here, the perfect 10-course meal of only video game food. So, a 10-course meal as defined by the internet. So please, if you are some kind of Michelin star chef, please do not write it and tell me that I'm wrong, because I got this off of Google. But essentially the 10-course meal would be as follows. We would do a nice hors d'oeuvre to start off, just like a really small plate kind of a thing. Then we'll do a soup. It's getting kind of hot here in Phoenix, so I'm not really into soup right now, but that's okay. Then we'll switch to an appetizer, then hop over to a salad. Then we want to have a little tour through a fish course, perhaps. Then we finally get to our main course. Hopefully you're not too full by now. After that, we'll do a palate cleanser, get you ready for the second half of the meal. We'll then switch to a second main course, followed by dessert, everyone's favorite part of the meal, and then a mignardise or an aperitif to close the time down. A digestif, perhaps. That's 10 courses. I have a ton of food. My challenge is I'm going to pull some food out of a hat, proverbially, because I didn't actually do that this time. And it is up to us to try to build the perfect meal. Can we do it? Do you think we can do it?
Yes. I believe we should have a 10-course meal every day, honestly.
I wish.
I know. I just want
Maybe
to be
we do.
served by Ratatouille.
Well, I've tried to make ratatouille like 5 times, and it always goes horribly wrong. I'm like, well, this is just soggy vegetables. My life is ruined.
It's really hard.
Yeah, before we begin, how many courses have we actually eaten before?
At a single meal?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Probably no more than like 4.
I think
right?
I've done a 7-course meal once. Only because, again, like on the cruise, that's the only time I've ever had the opportunity to do so.
If I go to a buffet, if I go to a Chinese food buffet and make it myself,
okay,
does that count?
Cheating.
I mean, like a 45-course meal at that point, so whatever.
I think that counts, right?
I guess.
I mean,
but is she literally going like, oh, this is my hors d'oeuvre, and this will be, then it goes back to the table, gets like that one
it's
thing.
It's a little out of order.
This is like, let me get some of this and this and this, and then by the end of it you have like a plate full, because that's what I do. I just get like, I want all of these things on my plate stacked up, and like, let me just eat as much as I can, and then like go again for seconds.
Does visiting a continental breakfast at a hotel count as a several course
meal?
meal?
No.
Yes, it does. Totally,
okay,
completely.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, whatever.
So either. Go ahead.
Sorry, if I eat 10 pieces of pizza and I like space it out a little bit, I think that's like a 10-course meal, so whatever.
Hors d'oeuvre, pizza, soup, pizza,
fish, pizza.
Salad, pizza.
My palate cleansers, pizza.
If you're saying that's a bad 10-course meal, fuck you. Because I think 10 courses of pizza is amazing.
It's just a 10-slice pizza as a 10-course meal. That's fine. It's all about pacing yourself. So either this is going to be the bougiest meal of all time, or it's going to be an absolute trash fire. Who knows? I guess we'll figure out. Yeah.
Let's find out.
Okay, so I'm going to generate a random number and pull from our list. These have not been doctored in any way. I don't know why I say that. Like, I'm suspicious. I think I just put
I know I'm way more suspicious of you if I'm being honest.
Okay, I'm sorry. So our first is number 25, and number 25 is the one I was actually really hoping would be in here, is the Sinner's Sandwich from Deadly Premonition. Do you guys know what this is?
No.
Have you played Deadly Premonition? Okay,
I haven't, but I'm looking it up right now.
Okay, so essentially, Deadly Premonition is amazing. And the Sinner's Sandwich is a sandwich that the main character eats at the diner. And it is a turkey sandwich with strawberry jam and cereal.
This is disgusting.
What is this?
It's the Sinner's Sandwich.
I'm gonna eat one of these motherfuckers. I don't even care if it kills me.
This literally looks like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but with fucking like turkey and mustard in it. What is going on?
This is the chaotic evil peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
And it has no...
It doesn't even have peanut butter on it. It's just jam, turkey, and cereal.
It doesn't have a crust on it either. It's crustless white bread cut into a triangle.
Right.
With turkey, mustard, ketchup, or barbecue sauce. Or is that jam?
It's strawberry jam.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah. Strawberry jam, turkey, cereal. Okay. It is a square of crustless white bread containing pure hellfire on the inside.
It has checks in it.
Why not? Why wouldn't it have checks in it? Oh. You gotta have the crunch, right?
Okay, I need some outside information to make a decision on this. Like, how many desserts do we actually have? Because this may qualify as a dessert, even though it has turkey on it.
Not a dessert.
How many desserts do we have in the random number? Oh my god.
Like a lot?
We have one specifically.
Okay.
we have three. No, 4 or 5.
Okay,
we
so we have some desserts.
5 dedicated desserts, we'll say.
We don't need to get crazy with our desserts just yet.
No. So, and we also, I mean, we could go extremely chaotic evil and make this the palate cleanser.
I was just thinking it might be I'm so happy.
Okay. I was going to say just a palate cleanser.
All right, then we're going to say that the Sinner's Sandwich is the palate cleanser, and we can always move these around.
I mean, yeah. For right now, that's our palate cleanser.
Okay.
I already feel
that goes between our main course and our second main course.
Perfect. What else would go there? I'm sorry, my keyboard is very loud. I'm typing into the voice.
Click, click, click.
Okay. Click, 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 click. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah. Do you like the sandwich? He does. Okay.
I can't believe this is a sandwich.
Gosh. He always has something else to add. Okay, so now we shall generate our next completely random number. I'm relying on Google to do this for me. It's number 4. Huh?
Oh god. I was gonna ask, could it be the Sinner Sandwich again? Like, are you removing these from the pile?
No, this was Sinner Sandwich.
I'm checking them off as we do them, just so that we don't get it more than once. But it could be that the entire meal is just a series of Sinner Sandwiches. I mean, if an entire pizza counts as a 10-course meal, then why not have 10 Sinner Sandwiches?
Made into Sinner Sandwiches.
Be so sick.
Yep. Okay, so number 4 is coffee from Brewster's in Animal Crossing New Leaf.
This is like literally a thing, isn't it? Actually, like, isn't there?
Yeah.
But it's so good. I do like the idea.
Okay, but I mean, it's coffee, right? I mean that. Yeah. So right now, that would be for me, it'd be the digestif, because that's usually what you do. You know, it's either that or a shot of espresso. So.
You don't get to choose what you get, though. You just have to, like, say, like, I want it hot, and he just gives it to you, right? Like, it could just be incredibly hot.
Well, to be fair, this isn't, like, a small thing either. It's a huge cup of coffee, so...
Well, the other problem, too, is that if you work for Brewster, you have to memorize everybody's order in the entire neighborhood, but I guess if you walk in, he's just like, you drink what I make, bitch.
Oh my god.
I mean, that sounds like what a fucking, fine chef would do.
Then he just throws a bag of coffee in your face and is like, you've drank enough of these, here you go, make it yourself! That's exactly what happens in Animal Crossing New Leaf, thank you. So are we going with a digestif on this?
I think that's good. I feel like that's like after the Sinner Sandwich, we can get a little reprieve by actually getting food, at something edible.
I mean...
What if it's our soup?
No, do you want it to be a coffee soup? We could do that.
No.
Let's put in the soup for right now, and then if we don't get another soup, we'll at least have that covered, because I'm worried about the soup, if I'm being honest.
There's some real
better digestive cups.
Well, we could always move them around. So
We'll see.
right now, for everybody keeping score at home, which nobody is, we have a palate cleanser as a Sinner sandwich, because of course, and our digestive at the end of the meal is Brewster's coffee. So
Yes.
no matter what hellfire comes before it, theoretically,
At least it ends well.
yeah, theoretically, you still get a coffee at the end.
Yes.
So
I just realized
I'm not going to be
something horrible.
mad.
Whatever we do, I'm gonna have to make it and eat it. Like, just in my own brain, I'm gonna have to do that. So if it's edible, I will make it and eat it and take a picture of it. And I'm regretting
edible.
saying that out loud. Well, I'm saying, like, all of this. Like, I will do the 10-course meal myself if I need to. So I'm just realizing...
Are we making this like the 10-course challenge? Or,
Yeah.
Can we be internet famous?
That might be the next time we all together, and we're just going to do a 10-course meal.
We need to at least eat a Sinner sandwich together. I want that life.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's going to be a mess. Okay.
I'll make
I'm
one.
I'm in.
Turkey, strawberry. Well, I feel like, okay, fundamentally, I feel like turkey and strawberry jam is not the worst thing in the entire world, because people eat turkey sandwiches after Thanksgiving with cranberry sauce on it.
Yeah.
It's when you bring in the Chex, and I mean, I don't know if there's
And
a
the
rule about
mustard?
what. I don't think there's mustard on it.
You don't think there's
that's-
mustard on it? I saw pictures with mustard on it.
I think those people are just like really, really being cruel to themselves. You don't have to live like this. You don't have to live in a world where you put mustard on your Sinner sandwich. Unless
Hold
you're
on.
like really trying to make up for some shit that you've done in your past.
I got this. The sandwich is created and is comprised of turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal. That's it. So there, you're right. That's it. That's all it is.
Okay.
I still don't like it. We must
fine.
move on.
Can I use
Okay.
Captain Crunch? Yeah, okay, let's move on from this sandwich. The Sinner sandwich has us, and we need to
Sinner
move
sandwich must include Lucky Charms. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Okay. Okay, so our next number is number 19. And number 19 is Wall Meat from Castlevania.
on. Wall
I guess I
meat?
can't make this myself.
does- Who doesn't love a wall chicken? I mean, just makes you feel so good. Oh my god, wall chicken.
Dude, like, I was playing Symphony of
is
the
that a-
Night, like, this weekend, and it's
Yeah.
like a full fucking chicken. That's a lot of food.
Yeah.
Well, then that could be like an appetizer, because, like, that's...
Just an entire chicken is the appetizer.
Listen, if we're all three, at a table, and, like, we want to eat food...
we all have to share
a full
the appetizer.
chicken would be split between the three of us.
This is
That'd be an
insane.
appetizer.
You are buck wild. And this is a main course or a second main course. I swear to fucking God.
Olivia, there's gonna be something bigger, and it's gonna be the fucking appetizer later, if this is not the appetizer now.
I'll take that bet. If there's something bigger than a wall chicken that we have to, or wall meat on, let me specify, wall meat. It could be a fucking meat patty in the shape of a giant chicken. Then we can put it there in its place.
It's true.
Okay. It was sent to, I'm gonna put it under main course, and then if we get something that's bigger than a wall chicken, an entire chicken encrusted in ancient Dracula stones, then we'll talk. How about that?
It's fine with me. I'll eat a Dracula stone. I don't give a fuck.
Why was Dracula keeping chickens in the walls? Like,
Listen,
really,
you
what is
don't
the
want to
purpose
know.
of that?
You don't
It was
want
like
to
the
know.
midnight snack. He just like hid it in behind
Ugh.
the stone, and he was just like, because castles, they're cold, right? So it was literally a refrigerator. So he just had to remove a stone, brick, and like, oh, there's my chicken. That's my midnight snack.
I
They're just strategically hidden all throughout
They're
the mansion.
strategically
Okay.
hidden in the wall because he didn't want
choose
his servants.
I choose to believe that the chickens built the castle and they died as a result of, like, they were
Oh, he, like-
entombed on accident.
Their bones, their corpses make up the structure of the castle.
Exactly.
To keep the castle
He
together.
walled them in because they knew too much.
Okay.
But somehow they also were cooked in the walls. Oh boy.
Somehow.
This raises a lot of concerns about workers' rights, I think, and like OSHA violations that potentially are happening in
Potential.
Okay.
I don't know if OSHA can regulate an upside down castle. Like, I just don't think they have the capability.
I mean, I feel like it counts as a workplace if we're assuming that the chickens are the ones who built the castle in the first place. Because then, doesn't that not count as a workplace, and then that would then have to be regulated by OSHA? Like, I bet Dracula didn't even actually have, like, the OSHA violation stuff up. Like, I bet they don't even know that they probably were entitled to workman's comp.
So wait, does that make Dracula a colonist? Is he is he fucking...
Oh boy. This is going away. I don't like. We gotta move on. We gotta keep going.
conquering other nations.
What's the
nation
next
of
number?
chicken?
Pick a number,
What?
Rebecca.
What
Fuck.
a horrible night to have a curse, is all I have to say about that. Okay, so our next number is number 6. And number 6 is, it's the dubious food from Breath of the Wild.
Oh, man.
I'm not even really sure what it is, but it's pretty bad.
How many fish do we have? Could that be a fish?
Sure. I don't know if there's anything that's specifically identified as fish. Wait, let me look. Nothing is coming up as specifically fish.
This thing is ambiguous. It could be fish. In fact, I think you could put this is probably what happens when you put fish and an apple in Breath of the Wild. This is what comes up. Who knows?
I love that it's censored. I love that the food is so disgusting. They have to blur it out.
Yeah, it's so offensive.
Too hot for TV.
Yeah. Are we in agreement then that fish is too hot for TV?
Yeah.
And thus the dubious food?
I was gonna say either fish or the Ordivore. Just start things off really bad.
If we're thinking from the perspective of someone who's going to eat the food, I want to lure them in. I want to give them something good, and then I want them to get to this, and then be like, "Oh fuck,
right?
I've done a mistake. This is a mistake."
So right now, if we set the dubious food as the fish course, then they have to get through dubious food to get to the wall chicken. So just an entire fucking chicken. After which they then must ingest the sinner sandwich.
Yeah, in my mind, this is you need to get them in there so you can close the doors and then set up your traps so then you can feed them the rest of the food. That's what my headcanon is for this, our restaurant of horrors.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So dubious food is fish for now.
Well, yeah, we'll set the dubious food as the fish course. So right now we have so fish is dubious food. Our main course 1 is wall chicken. Our palate cleanser is the center sandwich, and our aperitif or our digestif or our mignardise is Brewster's coffee. So not too bad. We still need an hors d'oeuvre. We still need a soup. We still need an appetizer, a salad, a second main course, and a dessert. So we still have six left.
6 more.
Got it.
All right. I shall generate the number. Okay. Our number is 28, and the food is Lucio O's.
Oh,
that's a soup for fucking sure. If I've ever heard it, cereal is a soup.
Cereal is a soup.
Okay,
but it could also be our dessert because I'm sure they taste fucking delicious. But I'm okay with it being a soup for now.
Do we want to start? Let's start with Lucio O's as a soup, and then if it has to get downgraded to a dessert,
yeah. If there's nothing else that's
edible,
sweet,
we could get those in reality and eat them. And
people might like them. I have a box.
Oh, you do? I was a little jealous. I went to BlizzCon and they were there, but I didn't get them. So
you should. Well, I shouldn't say you should have gotten them there because what I will say is that I got them for about $2 whole at Target. So and it's a family size box, so I feel like an asshole.
Oh wow, yeah. No, they were selling the cheap thin ones, Anyway. What's next?
You guys just reminded me that I don't have the Amiibo cereal, and I'm really fucking sad about that. I wish I'd bought it when I saw it the one time.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, at first I was thinking that there was an Amiibo that was a cereal instead of the fact that there was Amiibo in cereal.
I want a cereal Amiibo so fucking.
I was just picturing a barcode that was just a serial number. I don't know. Anyway,
the Agent 47 Amiibo.
I think that's totally fair. Okay. Oh, whoops, my browser froze. That's not a good sign.
Oh,
that's not a good sign for any of the things that we want to do here. Okay.
It's trying to stop us.
Yeah, it knows that we've gone too far. All right, so our next number, if it will load. Okay. Our next number is number 20, and number 20 is it's the power pellets that Pac-Man eats, so Pac-Man power pellets.
I don't think those would taste bad. I think those would be good. Feel full of energy.
I imagine they taste like communion wafers. Is that really bad? It tastes so basically like nothing.
Well, then that would be our hors d'oeuvre. It's either a hors d'oeuvre or it's our dessert. I feel like it'd be our hors d'oeuvre.
That probably is the correct answer for a palate cleanser, but obviously we've made some choices.
I
You are
imagine it
correct.
tastes like batteries, like when you stick your tongue. I don't know if you guys did this as a kid.
No!
I don't know if
It
you guys
just
did this as a kid,
tastes
or if it was
iron.
just me. Yeah, when you stick your
It's
tongue
like a-
on a battery and it shocks you.
Copper,
Yeah.
iron, metallic
Ugh.
taste.
But then
I
you
don't-
feel fucking amazing afterwards. It's like doing like a hard drug.
because you
of
got
some sort.
energy.
Yeah,
I can't
right.
say I've ever felt
That's
fucking
how
amazing
energy
after
works.
licking a battery, but sure.
No, I mean, like,
Um,
not in reality, but in this world, in our fiction
Oh,
that we've
okay.
created, because the power pellet makes Pac-Man amazing. He eats ghosts.
Yeah,
He can eat the incorporeal.
that is true.
So
That is true. So do we start our meal with a power pellet, like just a singular power pellet served on a plate as your hors d'oeuvre? Like, here you go. You're gonna have to power up if you want to eat the fucking dubious food that's coming for you 4 meal choices down.
you know, guys, we like to have fun here, but this is obviously a palate cleanser,
I think
and we
it's
need
a
to fix our
palate cleanser.
mistake.
Because
Alright,
okay,
so
listen. After eating that wall of chicken or whatever, you need a little like energy.
You need to lick the battery after
Yeah.
you eat the wall chicken.
Right. If that's what the the pills or the pellets taste like.
Okay,
Otherwise,
so
it's just like it could be a hockey puck. You're just literally chewing on.
They canonically taste like a
it's
battery.
it's like a rice cake that tastes like a battery. I'm sorry. Who doesn't love a fun rice cake? Everybody, come on down. Oh my god. Okay, so if we bump the far superior Sinner sandwich from the palate cleanser, where does that go? Because we still have an hors d'oeuvre, an appetizer, a salad, a second main course, and a dessert.
I think it's an hors d'oeuvre or an appetizer.
Do we want to lead with the Sinner sandwich though? Is that too much, or would people leave?
In my
Or-
mind, the Sinner sandwich would be in like some trendy fucking like, oh wow, they're really doing things with sandwiches here. So maybe that could be an appetizer.
I feel like it'd be an appetizer then. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's just like half the sandwich. It's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's not a whole sandwich. It's just like you have to eat.
Or they could, since it doesn't have the crust on it, it's already cut into a triangle. Just cut it one more time diagonally. That way you get like the little triangles, and it's like, yes, I'm gonna eat this with my pinky up.
If I was
You
a
know?
douchebag who owned a like a very fancy restaurant, I would have the Sinner sandwich, but I would name it Mother's Milk, and I would cut it up into little small pieces. And
No!
put it on
Olivia,
a
why?
plate.
Oh my
Olivia,
god!
why?
That would be my
Is
pitch.
Is this some kind of? Oh god! Now I just forgot the name of the book. Shit!
We'll never
I
know.
have an English degree, and I can't even remember.
This
This is not an English club. This is not an English
Which-
reference.
Yeah, it's fine. I
Which
don't remember
era are we
how to
talking about
read.
here?
Oh,
Victorian?
it's old. For some reason, I can only think of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, but it's not that. Anyway,
It'll come back.
it'll come back to me. It'll come back to me weeks from now, and I'll wake up in a cold sweat in the middle of the night, and I'll be like, ah! And it's...
Sinner sandwich. Just scream that out loud.
Sinner sandwich! Ah! Okay. Next, random number, according to Google. Let's see. Okay, so our random number is number 14, and number 14 is... it's the Pao-Poo fruit from Kingdom Hearts, the one that you give to somebody if you want to stay in their life forever.
Okay, that's a dessert. Yeah, we got a dessert there. Because that's...
You don't want to... We could lead with the Pao-Poo fruit, and then,
Or it could be a
they're
salad.
locked in. Then they're locked in
Mhm,
forever.
mhm.
Yeah.
They
that's
have to
true.
ingest the Pao-Poo fruit, and then they have to eat the Sinner sandwich.
And then they have to go
do food. They don't
rescue
have
me
a
from the
choice.
Heartless. They have to rescue us because they're more connected now. They become a princess of heart, or I'm a princess of heart. I'm a little lost in the story.
So, hors d'oeuvre, though, they're not sharing it with anyone, so they're not connected or destined to be with anyone. If you make it an appetizer, then they're destined to be with whoever's at the table.
Okay, but then where does the Sinner sandwich go?
I don't know. I don't know.
This
It
thing
could
that
be
we're,
an
like,
hors d'oeuvre. It's
constantly-
fine. It could be an hors d'oeuvre. Or it could be a salad. Or a
It could
dessert.
it would be a very ballsy move to make it a palate cleanser and just really fuck up people's lives forever.
True.
Now I have a wall chicken. Haha.
I like it.
so
I like an hors d'oeuvre. I feel like
I
it
think
would
hors
probably
d'oeuvre,
taste
yeah.
good.
Yeah, let us start with the hors d'oeuvre. Discord, let me edit you.
What do you call it? It's a papao fruit.
How? Oh my
It's
God,
like the Pao-Poo fruit.
A-O. Pao-Poo. I think I spelled it wrong. A Pao-Poo fruit. But
they're
it's like that's... it's a star fruit that grows on the it grows on Destiny Island, and then Riku wants to give it to Kairi, and then Sora also wants to give it to Kairi, but what they didn't know is that Rika and Sora were in love the whole time, and Kairi wasn't even important, and they didn't give her a storyline.
Oh my god, spoilers!
This is where you have to like race Riku, right? To get the last fruit or whatever, that fucking thing.
Yeah, theoretically, if you beat him in the race, you get to give Kairi the Paopu fruit and be in each other's lives forever. Then everything goes bad when the Heartless attacked.
The day the Heartless attacked, everything changed.
Okay. All right. So again, for those keeping score at home, our hors d'oeuvre is the Paopu fruit from Kingdom Hearts. Our soup is Lucio O's. Our appetizer for the moment is the Sinner Sandwich. Our fish course is a dubious food from Breath of the Wild. Our main course is a wall chicken from Castlevania, or wall meat. I'm not, maybe wall tofurkey. I don't know. I don't judge here. Our palate cleanser is Pac-Man's Power Pellets. Our second main course and dessert have nothing. And then our digestif is Brewster's Coffee, which I feel like of everything is probably the less daunting item. It's like we really have to make people run this gauntlet before we let them just sit down and have like a basic ass food that has not been tampered with in any way.
We're very trendy though, I feel like.
If we get
we're doing things with food, and then like if you just like imagine the balls you'd have to like serve someone just like a normal fucking cup of coffee from like the local joint. Like, hey,
we're really a concept restaurant. Honestly.
Yeah, we're really pushing the limits of what food is here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Next one is number... Oh, come on. Oh, okay, number 23. And number 23 is... it's Estus soup from Dark Souls. Which is actually a soup, although it gives you health, so maybe it should be the dessert, because...
Is this what goes in flasks? The flasks of Estus or whatever?
Yes. Well, yeah, it's the same.
And you can, like, cook it. You can kind of cook it, and your friend, the Onion Knight, makes it, and I assume it tastes like onion soup. So.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. It might be like a, what is it called?
A salad,
the French
maybe?
onion soup, yeah.
I imagine it's very pleasing, so, and maybe you need the Estus soup before your fish course, which is the dubious food, so. I do love our bold restaurant concept in which we're serving actual real soup as a salad course, and not as the soup course.
I honestly didn't think you guys were going to let me just do this. So thank you. Thank you for going with me on this journey. That we can just put the soup in a salad.
Yeah, I think that's fine. It's like what you've been saying. We're a trendy, upscale, millennial restaurant.
There could be leaves.
Here to disrupt the food industry. Yeah.
Who knows what's in an SS flask soup?
It's just gold and glowing.
It's just
and I think it might be
glowing.
made of dead people. I don't know. There's still some souls.
It's ichor.
Yeah.
What is
Maybe.
ichor?
Somebody probably had to die for that.
It's ghost, like ectoplasm. Plasm is ichor. It's like the
ghost. It's ghost.
It's
soup.
like ghost
soup salad.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Ghost soup salad. It's fine. We're disrupting the restaurant industry. That's really what we're here for. Okay, so we still have two more. We have our second main course. We still need something to really bring it home. And then finally our dessert. So let me return to our favorite friend, the random number generator. And our number is number 24. And what is number 24? Oh, it is... Did either of you play Persona 4?
No.
Is it the pizza? I've heard about the pizza being weird.
No, it's the beef bowl challenge.
A beef bowl challenge? It's not just a beef bowl, it's a beef bowl challenge?
It's the beef bowl challenge. That is what was submitted.
That's a
beef bowl challenge.
That sounds like a
did you play it,
course.
Rebecca? I hope.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I did. So in this game, there is a character who is obsessed with. Or did you look it up?
I did. But continue.
Okay, so there is a character who is obsessed with beef bowls, I guess. And so they have what's called the Rainy Day Special Mega Beef Bowl Challenge, which is like really expensive. You can only buy it when it's raining, and the idea is that it has so much meat in it that it transports you to the meat dimension.
What?
Not literally, but figuratively.
Right.
I just looked this up and I feel ill looking at it.
Yosuke loves the meat beef bowl challenge.
Yeah.
Can you actually like finish this in the game, or do you just die if you eat it?
No, you can. There's a thing you can do it.
Dear God, can you imagine the shit you would get after eating this? It looks horrible. It would kill you. It kills anything.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, but is it any worse than like the what is it called? The heart attack grill or whatever it's called, where they give you like a fucking.
I've eaten at the heart attack grill before, and this seems like a level above that.
Really? You have?
I have eaten at the heart attack grill.
Oh,
did you have their special, their challenge, where if you finish like that?
Yeah,
14
I did.
Patty mega whatever.
Oh
that place is a nightmare.
It's called like the quadruple bypass or something, right?
Yeah, because it's like each burger. I think I got the double actually, but they did wheel me out in a wheelchair. So
it's like patty, burger, lettuce, tomatoes. Patty, burger, lettuce, tomatoes. Like 4 times. It's ridiculous. I can't believe what a champion. I can't believe.
Since we're already in this sidebar, what we did was it was me and my friend, and we ate the burgers, and then we went and smoked unfiltered cigarettes because we thought we were the coolest fuckers. And I got so sick.
Hell yeah,
dude! If you want to know like what hell is, it's bad.
Oh my God.
So who wants to get transported to the meat dimension?
Okay, so that's a perfect second.
That's a main course, right?
It's definitely. Yeah.
Or is it a dessert? Guys, fire walk with me.
No, it's not a dessert.
Damn it. Probably a main course. That's probably accurate.
Okay. I'm just saving it as the meat dimension.
It's the meat dimension, second main course.
That's really all you.
That's what it's called. That's a good name.
Really all you need to know.
Right.
Okay, so that leaves us with our last and most important piece, the dessert, which we may get a dessert. There's still quite a few on the list that I'm seeing. For some reason, sweet rolls are on here like 4 times because people really wanted us to do sweet rolls.
I like sweet rolls.
And then there's, always the chance for a last minute left field. Who knows? Here's what we're going to do. We're going to randomly generate a number. That randomly generated number is going to be number 18. And number 18 is... it is the Heavy's Sandwich from Team Fortress 2.
Lots of sandwiches in this list.
I think there was a couple other sandwiches other than just those 2.
Okay. I've got an idea.
So it's all right.
What if we put the sandwich in the palate cleanser slot. We put the power pellets in the coffee slot, and then we put the coffee in the dessert slot. What do you think about that?
So wait, where is the sandwich going?
The sandwich would go in the palate cleanser spot, because I feel like the power pellet is amorphous. The power pellet tastes like batteries. It could go anywhere.
It is a health item, the sandwich.
Yes.
So we do have that.
See, I imagine it's like a water. I know there's a piece of meat in it, but I always imagine it would taste like a watercress sandwich. Like just very like
bologna or something. It's bologna, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, on sourdough with
it's just so small.
With a pimento olive on top.
The very specific Team Fortress 2 official wiki definition is, it is half of a sandwich made with 2 triangular slices of bread, a theme for us, lettuce, tomatoes, Swiss cheese, ham, and bologna.
Well,
topped with a green pimento stuffed olive.
I was wrong. I was totally wrong. We need to fix this.
Yeah. Apparently, the Heavy actually has a voice line where he explains what is in the sandwich, because of course he does. So I feel like we're at the position now where we have a couple of items that are like healing items, and I don't know if we need to put those more sporadically through here so that people can like have like, oh yay, Lucio O's, and then like, oh no, dubious food. Oh yay, meat dimension. Oh no.
I don't think anyone's saying, oh yay, meat dimension. I
Who doesn't want to go to the meat dimension? Are you kidding? I'm a teen. I have murders to solve. I'm going to go to the meat dimension. Everything sucks in my life. That's a lot of Persona 4.
I feel like, so I feel like the ones that can float around are power pellets, because what does that taste like? S is soup. What is
it tastes like batteries and rice cakes.
I mean, that's true. We did actually get a can in there, but that taste could be anything. We're outside the box here, guys. We can do what we want.
Yeah, it's true. Would it be a dangerous choice to move power pellets so close to Brewster's coffee? Because do you want to go right from a licked battery to a coffee?
Your heart would explode.
Yeah, like, I feel like that's too much power, maybe.
Yeah.
I think, what about Lucio's in the dessert slot?
Yeah, Lucio, I feel bad because Lucio's are, like, feel very white bread. And, okay, I actually have a bone to pick with the concept of Lucio's because I purchased them from the store. Thanks for joining me on my Lucio's TED Talk. So, basically, I want them to taste like Apple Jacks because I don't know if you remember the commercials from, like, the early 2000s for Apple Jacks with this sort of Rastafarian kind of weird cinnamon stick guy. And so because I associate that with Lucio now, I want Lucio's to taste like Apple Jacks, but the flavor on the box is, and I quote, Sonic Vanilla.
Oh my god, that's the worst.
Which actually does feel like the worst thing that we could have ever done. So we'll move Lucio's to a dessert because it's Sonic Vanilla. Fucking bastards. Which frees up the soup course, which are we committed to having Estes soup as a salad?
I honestly didn't think you guys let me do that, so we can put Estes soup in the soup slot if we want. If we want to be like white bread, like if we want to be Sonic Vanilla level, we can do that.
I do feel like we also have the potential to start really intense and end really normal. So like having a bowl of cereal for dessert and then just like a cup of coffee feels like really tame. Like we're maybe like a reverse restaurant experience. Like start
after eating the wall chicken and then the meat dimension, I feel like you'll be really fucking full and it'll be like, dessert, it's just fucking liquid with like, cereal.
With also cereal.
and then it's literally just more liquid being the coffee. So like you're literally just adding water to whatever's already in your stomach. Hopefully you've already digested most of what you've consumed by now, but it's good that way. Nothing is too like filling. It's not dense anymore, because those main courses are real big.
Okay, what if we put the beef bowl as a soup, and because the soup,
I was thinking
the stock is
the
actually
soup, the meat.
The beef is the stock. So yeah, I'll go with you on that.
Okay, so we'll start with our hors d'oeuvre, which is still the Paopu fruit. We get people in, we get them feeling comfortable before we launch them immediately into the meat dimension. Followed by the Sinner sandwich, after which case people need a little bit of help, so they're going to have their Estes soup salad. Followed by dubious food, so that's not so good. Yeah, then going into wall chicken. Then our palate cleanser is still power pellets. Then is the second main course the sandwich?
I think so.
Okay.
Right, because then they're just.
Because I feel like they're expecting like a nightmare. They're like, "Oh fuck, what's the second one?" And then just like a simple
sandwich.
Sandwich.
Completely normal.
And
thank
and
God.
Just like, they're like not gonna touch it because they're like, "Is it gonna send me to the sandwich dimension?" I don't know.
Yeah,
because it's so normal.
Do we feel good about our ranking?
I like it. I'm trying to think if there's any other way that I would like it. I feel like the Sinner's sandwich.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Where does that go?
That's a good question.
Nowhere near this dinner is where it goes.
I mean, so if it's just strawberry jam, cereal, and
my God, you fucking don't do it.
What if our main course was the Sinner sandwich and our second main course was the sandwich and then everything else was a hellscape nightmare?
I thought you were gonna say put the Sinner sandwich in the dessert slot, and I
was going to.
Fuck!
I was.
I mean, it does again have cereal and strawberry jam on it, and both of those things.
It just has turkey. That's
sugar.
The only thing that's like weird that could qualify as like this is an appetizer.
You can have a meat dessert.
Main dessert.
We don't.
Yeah,
meat dessert. So maybe the dessert really should be the meat dimension, the beef bowl challenge.
I guess I agree with you that Lucio's feels kind of
very
like the safe option, whereas like the Sinner sandwich is you're really rolling the dice there.
Yeah,
you're literally sinning by serving that to anyone.
So right now it's Pow Pow fruit, which is safe, and then it's meat dimension, which is crazy, and then if we do appetizer Lucio's, it's safe. and then you're like, it's a soup, and it's like, okay, safe. And then it's like dubious food, you're like, what the fuck? Then it's like wall chicken, what the fuck? And there's like power pellets, and you're like, okay. And
This
then you're
tastes like a battery.
sandwich, and you're like, okay, well, good. It's mellowing out. Great. And then you get desserts, Sinner sandwich, oh my god! And then it's Brewster's coffee, which is...
I like this food experience that you're describing.
Yeah, you really took me on a journey. Thank you.
My taste buds hurt.
I'm just,
after hearing
listen,
that.
okay? As like sous chef or you know, the designer of this menu at our restaurant, called I don't know. This is what I feel
Please
like.
leave. This is bad.
This is what I believe the customers would really enjoy.
I think our restaurant is named G, like lowercase G underscore lowercase F. I think that's what it would be.
It's not greetings from, but with all the vowels removed.
Okay, you've actually thought of a better idea, and that will be what it is.
Greetings firm.
Right. Because people think it's like exotic or something stupid.
We gotta get that VC. Yeah. Like we're a restaurant, but we're also a startup. So we're gonna like start pitching that, and we can't have vowels in our name if we're gonna get VC money. That's crazy.
We have an app.
Yeah.
Please
it hurts
invest in us. Do we feel good with the food that we've chosen, or do we need me to pull some lifelines? Because we do have extra food in case we want to. Well, in case we're just not feeling Lucio O's, we got some more choices.
Let's since you have like 28 something, let's do like 3 lifelines and just see what comes up. And like if it's nothing, then let's just keep it as is.
Okay, 3 lifelines coming right up.
We could add the amuse-bouche if we wanted to.
We could. I mean, because technically there's like a fish course, and then there's like a beef course, and then a chicken course.
We literally have a fucking beef bowl.
And so theoretically we could do that too. Okay, so let me pull a couple extras. Okay, so the first one is number 8, and that is Fancy Lad Snack Cakes from Fallout. Highly irradiated sugar treats.
Those always sounded really good to me.
I know. So I guess this is lore time. In Fallout 4, with the whole thing with the synths, a game that I played a whole lot of, even though it was not very good, apparently synths had like some kind of weird programming glitch that made them especially attracted to Fancy Lad Snack Cakes, and they always wanted to eat them.
What?
Huh.
Yep. And they also couldn't gain weight because they were synths. Anyway, thanks for visiting my Fallout 4 lore corner. Okay, let me see. Let me pull our next one, and it is number 21. And that is cup noodles from Final Fantasy 15.
Ooh.
They look so good. They look like real food.
Cup o' nudes. And then our last one is number 16. And number 16 is, let's see. Oh, it's it's Mario's 1-Up mushrooms. So that gives us Fancy Lad Snack Cakes, 1-Up mushrooms, and cup noodles as our 3 lifelines.
I vote we get rid of Brewster's coffee and we put in Fancy Boy cakes.
Okay.
But is that really a digestif, though?
Well, it's like a biscuit. It's like a sugar biscuit.
Okay.
Well, so how about we do this? We say it's a Brewster's coffee and a Fancy Lad Snack.
Okay, I'll take that.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
You need something to dip your Fancy Lads into.
Yeah. That makes sense.
We're really elevating the Fancy Lad cakes when you think about it.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, they are only highly irradiated.
We push the limits here.
Did we want to replace the power pellets for Mario's mushroom?
We cannot get rid of the power pellets.
No,
they're very important to me.
They're essential.
Like
They're essential. Are the Mario mushrooms our salad? But I feel like I really enjoy our soup being a salad. So
yeah, we're not married to the lifelines. Like if they're not doing it,
I'm not married to the power fruit. I can get rid of that any day of the week. I could eat a fucking mushroom.
Would you rather replace your life-altering girlfriend power?
Fuck, I forgot the lore. I forgot that we were locking them into place, so they had to eat all the food. It's really important.
Well, it's fine. We could the other option is that either we lock them into place for life, for eternity, because that's the way the Palpu fruit works, I guess. Or we give them the 1-Up mushroom, and then they get really pumped up and also too large to sit at the table. And then we just destroy them with highly irradiated meat food.
See, I feel like you couldn't eat the meat food unless you were fucking big. Like that's what I think.
So
well,
does it
can we
does
add
it
the
work that they
amuse-bouche? Let's add the amuse-bouche in. Let's just make
Okay.
let's make that the big boy juice. That way we
Do
got.
Where do we want to insert the amuse-bouche into? Is it? It's before an hors d'oeuvre, right?
It's after hors d'oeuvres from this.
It's
From this,
after hors d'oeuvre.
from the internet. That tells me it's after hors d'oeuvres. So then we could have like you lock them into place with the fruit, and you give them a power pellet, and then they go to the meat dimension. They're teleported.
Our meat dimension is now the appetizer.
It's the soup still.
It's still the stew. Okay.
Yeah, we're adding in. We're adding in the. I think it's pronounced amuse-bouche. I hope.
That's fine. I spelled it the way that it sounds, so sorry to no one who's going to see this. Okay, so yeah, we lock them in with the palku fruit. We then get them with the amuse-bouche, which is the one-up mushroom. People feel really pumped up. They're really excited to be here. Then immediately they enter the meat dimension. Wow, that's a really tough dimension to get through, but that's okay. On to the next thing. It's the fucking sinner sandwich. And people are probably like, their heads are spinning by now, right?
Yeah.
So we give them a little Estus soup. It tastes good. Maybe like onions. I don't know why I keep thinking that Estus soup tastes like onions, but that's what I think it tastes like. And so then people are like, okay, maybe this isn't so bad. Like, I feel pretty good. And then we immediately hit them with the dubious food. And then they're like, this couldn't get even more worse. Except, wall chicken. It gives you health. It's an entire chicken. Do with that what you will. Then everybody at the table licks a battery with a power pellet. Then we go into a completely normal and absolutely nothing suspicious about it sandwich. Followed up with some white bread Lucio O's. And then we end our meal with a cup of Brewster's coffee and some fancy lead snack cakes.
I like
feel about that?
I like the list. The one thing I want to make
Okay.
sure that we do is that like when we give them the sandwich, we have to actually say that like there's nothing weird about the sandwich. It's absolutely normal. Like you have to stress that to the people. That way their heads are all like, oh fuck, I don't know about the sandwich, guys. That's what I want.
Okay. I'm noting that it's a completely normal sandwich.
Great.
Thank you.
And then Lucio will be happy because we ate his branded cereal. And actually the box has like a download code for his album.
It does.
Oh my god, did you listen to his
Yeah.
album?
No.
That sounds really suspicious.
Maybe.
Yeah, well, how is his album? Is it good? Does it slap?
Yeah, it slaps.
I didn't realize it
Lucio's
dropped.
great.
So,
Yeah. Oh, he out here making full ass albums, some LPs for the times. Yeah. All right. Did we do it?
We did
make
it.
a
We
list of
made the
that
food.
is maybe edible? I don't know.
well,
To give you some of the other options that we had that we did not pull on that caught my eye. Obviously the sweet roll came up several 100,000 million times. Conjured mana strudel from WoW was in there. The cake from Portal. I can't believe that wasn't in there more. Calorie Mate from Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh man, that's so good.
Butterscotch Pie from Undertale. I'm trying to think of what else I have.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, like Nuka-Cola was in here a couple of times.
well, that could be like our drink, maybe. Who knows?
Just the side is Nuka-Cola.
It's a good pairing.
Or Sunset Sarsaparilla. Yeah, you could do either. RuneScape Kebabs was in here, on also the Fruit Blast cocktail from RuneScape. Honey Shrooms from Paper Mario, Grandma Soup from Wind Waker. Lots of good stuff.
Was there rad roach, like cooked rad roach in there?
No! Nobody sent in rad roaches.
That's because rad roaches are friends, I guess. They're not food.
Yeah. Is that an official endorsement of the Greetings from Podcast?
Wait, was
Rad
there
roaches are friends,
not
not food.
Was there literally no cheese wheels from Skyrim?
Nope, not one
Wow,
single cheese wheel.
I'm very
There
proud.
There was Goopy Carbonara from The Sims, which I believe has cheese in it, so I'm not sure if that counts.
I see.
I don't know. So.
Well,
But yeah, we got some good ones, I think.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me to the concept of a sinner sandwich. I will never forget that. It's burned into my brain.
Yeah. I knew that my chances were pretty good since we had to pick 10 of 28 choice options. But I was very low key just praying that the sinner sandwich would come up, and I'm so glad it was the first one.
It was the first one, and it fucking changed everything completely and wrecked us all. So
maybe that's like our key item. That's like our cornerstone for our whole restaurant is just we do the sinner sandwich, and that's it. That's our food truck option.
We make one thing, and it's disgusting. Oh, guys, I'm full of
What if,
food. I'm done with this
yeah.
food. I feel sick.
Yeah, well, let's have some more Lucio's to make that even worse. You guys ready to do some salutations?
I'm ready.
Yes.
All right. So our salutations is when we take a little time out of our busy day to give a shout out to some of the stuff that we like that's making us happy, that we haven't otherwise talked about. Generally we do games, but we just do whatever because there's no rules anymore. Honestly, we just ate 700 Sinner sandwiches, so it's pretty much anybody's guess at this point. So Olivia, do you want to get us started with your salutation for
Sure.
the week?
My salutation for this week is the Microsoft Store Hearthstone tournaments. So, they're not tournaments, they're fireside gatherings, I guess I should be clear, but there is usually a tournament involved in that.
How is a fireside gathering different from a tournament? What is a fireside gathering?
Okay, so the way that Blizzard does Hearthstone like fireside gatherings is it's like, hey, we're gonna host an event in person. You can go there. They usually have some like swag to give away, and then you also have the opportunity to like play some games, and like there's like brawl format games, which is kind of like you can play like a weird format that's not actually usually available, and like some of the stuff you get is like, you get a cool card back if you play. You also can get like a cool hero if you go there. But because Microsoft is doing these events and they're kind of like timing it with the release of Rise of Shadows, which is the new expansion, they're giving out some like free card packs that you can get if you play in the tournament. And it was really nice to like meet some people. Like I just hadn't really met any like Hearthstone folks out here. And I met some, like, it was like, I'm not going to say that the card game community is great or perfect, but there were some nice people there, and I had a good time playing, and I got 4th place, and that was a good feeling for me.
Oh, that's good.
I didn't win a game. I got a bye to the second round, and there was only like 8 people. Yeah, but I felt good about myself. So I think if you guys like want to go play Hearthstone, kind of like learn a little bit about how the game works, like that's a good opportunity for you to like get in there, talk to some people, and get like some free stuff as part of it. So I would recommend checking those out if you have the opportunity to. They're like every month on the first Wednesday of every month. So
cool.
Should be fun. God, Tyler, what is your salutation for this month or this week?
Yeah. My salutation for this podcast or for this week's podcast, it's it was just released on Netflix. And I know I'm always recommending TV shows and never video games, but this one's pretty important. It's called Our Planet.
Is this the one with the walruses? Is this the one with the walruses?
I heard about this. I heard about the walruses.
Yes. And I didn't know this going in because like literally me and my boyfriend Chris were just kind of like binge watching it last night because we were like, oh, let's watch this. And yes, it is the one with the walruses. But that's not what I'm talking about because, so I guess content warning, there is, I think it's episode 3. There are some walruses that get injured. That's all I'm going to say about it. But that's not what I wanted to say or talk about. I wanted to talk about David Attenborough and Our Planet as a whole, as a TV show that, unlike Blue Planet or oh god, what are the other ones? All the other Earth documentaries that are out there. This one always highlights climate change as an issue, and it's like this shit's happening, and it's all around us, and is radically changing, and something needs to be done right now, or he says within the next 20 years. We have 20 years to like change shit around before we're past the line of do not return, where we do irreparable damage to our planet. But because normally these nature documentaries, what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, look at this, look at all the glorious beauty that our Earth has to offer, and everything's wonderful, and like, isn't it weird that the snake is doing this thing with this other animal, and like, look at their mating rituals and whatever, and then like at the very end, like the very last episode of the series or something, they'll be like, oh, but we need to take better care of our planet. Well, this series doesn't do that. It's like every episode starts off like, this is the current state of our world, this is what's happening, and these are the changes that are going on right now. And so it's kind of like refreshing, and it's like really impactful watching this nature documentary, more so than any other nature documentary, because it's not pulling the punches with, hey, we as a fucking human species need to get our shit together with climate change. So I really recommend watching it. It's very powerful. Like Lily and Rebecca were saying, there is a scene that like I almost started crying because it is so emotionally devastating. And I didn't know about it going in. So you guys knew about it, right? Like I didn't know this was a thing. So you were more prepared than I was watching it. And like I was making so much noise from the room that I was in watching TV. Chris, he was in like a different room at the time, he came in and was like, what's going on? You know, it was like, we have to rewind to watch this again because it's awful. Anyway, watch the show Our Planet on Netflix, hosted by David Attenborough. It's very good. Rebecca, what is your salutation this week?
First of all, thanks for telling me which episode to not watch. So
yeah, I'm fairly certain it is episode 3, because we watched the first 2 episodes and it was like, you know, not a big deal, and then the third one was like, this is what happens. So I was like, oh. Anyway.
Okay, so my salutation for this week is a game, because I'm back to drinking my own Kool-Aid again, and it's a game called The Red Strings Club. This came out, I think, at the end of last year. I just got it for my Switch. It's done by Deconstruct Team and published by Devolver. So this is the team that originally did Gods Will Be Watching. I don't know if you guys played that one. But this is a cyberpunk bartender simulator again, which is now, I guess, a genre. But it's sort of in a cyberpunk adventure game in which you play one of 3 characters. You play them all at the same time, but you all play them throughout different parts throughout the game. And essentially the setup is there is a big bad corporation, as there tend to be in these sort of cyberpunk situations, and they are planning to do something that's going to affect everybody in like a really bad way. And so it puts you in this position of being sort of a renegade, cops on the edge, anarchist force, who exists to try to figure out, A, what's going on, who's behind it, can it be stopped, like what is the scale of this thing? And so what's interesting is the game is essentially about sort of transhumanism, and it deals a lot with the concepts of, you know, like, is it okay to control people's emotions? That's kind of what this big bad corporation is trying to do, is basically, you know, remove bad feelings from people, like allow them to just, you know, be happy all the time, or just, you know, control anxiety, control depression, things like that. And in order for you to get information out of people, it's kind of a detective game. That way you do there's a lot of conversations that go on, and you're always, you know, trying to get information out of people and figure out what's happening. Is you have to affect how people feel, if that makes sense. So as an example, one of the characters that you play is a bartender, and he's known for making special cocktails that can tap into different feelings that a person has. So as an example, you have an opportunity to interrogate a lawyer that works for this corporation, and you can choose whether you want to get her in a certain kind of mood, whether that's tapping into her paranoia about what's happening at the corporation, whether you want to tap into her ambition in her role, whether you want to tap into her sympathetic side. And what you kind of tap into will give you different answers. You know, people will give you different types of information. You can change their mood as you're talking to them to see if you can get other threads. You know, you can make people mad. You might not get the whole story. It's really cool. It's really interesting. It's really well done, I think. I want to say about halfway through, so I haven't seen the whole payoff. I think people say it's about 3 or 4 hours. But yeah, it's really cool. There's a piece of it where there is a character who is an android, who is able to sort of read emotions as well. And after you're done interrogating somebody at the bar, the android will provide you with a quiz that essentially tries to see how well you were paying attention. And it's not like, did this person say XYZ, but it'll be like, what is this person most afraid of? Is this person attracted to you? What would make this person angrier more than anything else? And so it's a game a lot about kind of reading into things, like kind of reading between the lines, spending a lot of time thinking about how people respond, how people use language, the ways that people kind of construct arguments and be evasive and lie and stuff like that. So it's really cool, and I think everybody should check it out. I was really impressed by it. It has like a great presentation right out of the gate. So if you haven't played
I've heard really good things about that game, and I was wondering, they kind of tackle some like trans and gender issues, right?
Yeah.
As part of it?
Yeah, they do, because they kind of address, I don't know. I
don't know if that's a spoiler, so sorry.
No, they spend a lot of time kind of like working through concepts of like, what does it mean to be human? What does it mean to be sort of transhuman, I guess? And so on the one hand, there are trans characters, there's gay characters. It treats that as kind of secondary, you know what I mean? Because it's sort of more about like, how do you integrate bodies with technology? You know what I mean? In a way that's like meaningful and, can that be a good thing? Can that be a bad thing? I don't know. So,
got it.
Yeah, it is interesting. They're very good with like pronouns and stuff too. So it's like, it does feel like it comes from a place of reverence and like a place of thoughtfulness, which is really nice. And I feel like you don't see that too much.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the game, and I've been meaning to play it. I think I got it through Humble Bundle or something like that a long time ago, and I haven't been able to play it yet. But it's interesting to hear you talk about it, because most people focus on I guess there's an issue with it. I don't know about it, because I've only heard rumors of it. I don't really know. Like, people wrote off the game kind of because there was this one thing that happened that apparently wasn't handled very well. But I think they've gone back and fixed it now. I'm not entirely sure, but I still, regardless, that aside, because I don't want to like mention it or say what it is and give it fuel to the fire. I still really am interested in that game. I think it does things that are really interesting that you've mentioned, that other people have mentioned. So I have to get my hands on that too.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the drama was behind it. I'm playing the most recent version on the Switch, so I don't know if I assume I have a patched version. I know that there were some issues with Gods Will Be Watching. I was really excited for that to come out, and then it came out and it got real not panned, but real lukewarm reviews, and so I think it's maybe not surprising that there might have been some issues with it at the outset, but I think at least from what I've played of it, I can't speak for the whole of it, but what I've played of it, it is a really interesting narrative exercise. So I'm interested to see if it pays off in the way that they've started it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Would you, it kind of looks like a Subcircle. What was that one game that you played a while ago where you're on the subway?
Subsurface Circular.
Is it anywhere? Is it kind of like that, or is it different in a mystery sense, or because you're a detective in that game too, right?
Well, not quite. I think you're a journalist. I don't remember. Okay. But essentially in Subsurface Circular, it's like you can talk to people and get parts of a story sort of based on how you talk to them, and that's kind of it. It's sort of it's like a sit on a train and talk to people simulator, and it's really short. It's like 2 hours maybe. Where this is like, from what I understand, I don't know. So the game kind of opens with the ending, so you sort of know what happens generally.
Oh, it's one of those.
Right, but I think how much of the story you uncover and like, if you're able to come to some semblance of truth or understanding, I think maybe that's the point of the game. And at least what it seems like, again, I will not played all of it, so I can't speak for the whole thing, but it seems like because people's memories and people's feelings are obviously very subjective, that there might not be a single truth, especially when it comes to, a corporation thinks that they are doing this thing that's really good, and the people that work for the company or the people who created this thing think that it's really good, but people on the outside think that it could be really bad. And a lot of that comes down to the politics of like, what is it okay to use androids for? What is it okay to change about your personality? What is it okay to, affect the way you interact with the world? I don't know. So I think that part of it is maybe subjective. But yeah, I could see the dialogue is like sort of similar to Subsurface Circular, but you spend a lot more time in this game affecting how people feel. So as one of the other characters who is the boyfriend of the bartender, he can also interrogate people, but he does so through like voice modulation over a telephone to try to trick people into giving information to somebody that they think is somebody else. And then the bartender can make drinks that change the way that people feel. And then the android has another part where it's able to actually put implants into people that fundamentally will then change aspects of their personality or like sort of affect kind of the world around them, whether making them like more attractive or luckier or how people perceive them differently, that kind of a thing. So yeah, it's interesting. It's weird that there's another cyberpunk bartender simulator, but sure, why not? I like it. I hope it goes places. So that is my salutation for this week.
I wanted to mention, I said it was the third episode. It's actually the second episode. So it's
second episode is dead to me now.
Yeah, it's the Frozen Worlds. But I feel like you should still watch that episode. It doesn't happen. It does not happen within the first 30 minutes. So like you can watch it and you'll know when it's going to happen because they're focusing on the walruses only. And I swear it's like 45 minutes in. It's an hour show. So you should still watch majority of it. Okay. Just totally skip through that one part. So
okay. Episode 2 is dead to me. All right, so that was a podcast. Don't watch Walruses Dying, please. Also, video games should unionize, and everybody should go home and eat a Sinner sandwich today. That's right, I said it.
I've got one right now.
Perfect. You're ahead of the game.
I feel so ill.
Yeah. We'll need to top you up with some. Just lick a battery. It's fine. That undoes it. I'm pretty sure. You don't even have to really eat a power pellet. It's just a battery that tastes like a rice cake. All right, well, this has been the Greetings From Podcast. Hooray! You can find us wherever podcasts are hosted, such as Apple Podcasts, Simplecast, Spotify, and others. Send us your questions, if you have them, to greetingsfromcast@gmail.com, and you can visit us on the web at greetingsfrom.zone. You can also follow us on Twitter, and I believe also on Twitch as Greetings From PC. We stream on Fridays, or every other Friday, generally. Olivia's taking it away this week because Tyler and I are not going to be in town, so shout out to that. My name is Rebecca Faye, and you can find me at Rebecca Faye. It's pretty straightforward. Olivia, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LivJQ. Tyler, where can they find you?
Find me at World Jumpin' on Twitter.
Meat Dimension!
Thanks for listening to Greetings From. Our intro and outro song is an edited version of Deep Fried Space Food by Substitute Sandwiches. You can find a link to the song in the podcast description. You can listen to more episodes of Greetings From at greetingsfrom.zone. We are on Twitter and Twitch at Greetings From PC. Please do follow us. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.